Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be sharing with you all the books that I ended up reading in the month of July and the books that I plan on reading moving into August. And I feel like there's a little bit of a life update that I need to share with you guys. But 3 weeks ago I got a job offer from the local children's hospital that I was kind of collaborating with my research throughout the course of my dissertation. And it seems like when they posted this job, it was basically intended for me to get, just because of the connections and everything that I made over the course of my PhD. So even though I applied for this in May, I did not get the job offer until basically the end of July. So it was a very stressful time waiting, even though they knew it wasn't, I didn't even really get interviewed. It was just we really want you and all this stuff. So it was a really weird process because I didn't really interview. It was just kind of given to me. But despite it taking several months, I really got nervous, thinking oh, I've gotten a lot of rejection emails from other companies that don't even want to interview with me. So I was really nervous. So as a backup plan, I decided, my advisor asked if I would teach a course in the fall. So it works out too, because this position at the children's hospital also encourages me to go out and teach at some of the local universities as sort of a networking thing with it, within the community. So in addition to being the director of orthopedic research at the children's hospital, starting that on the 21st, I also will be teaching a course in the fall that starts on the 28th. So I will be very, very busy. But in addition to, now that I finally have my job sorted out, I will be moving in with my fiance before work starts. So there's just been a lot of big changes going on. Obviously I'm very excited, but I'm also anxious with leaving Tucker here and all that. So my parents said they would take good care of him. He can't go upstairs now because he's 13, and he's very nervous on certain type of flooring, which is at my fiance's house. So he will be staying here with my parents, which will be a bit of adjustment. I feel, because they're gonna have to come down, sleep in my room now because he can't go up the stairs, all these things. So I'm trying not to think about that because my parents said they would, take good care of him. But there's just a lot of changes going on. I'm very excited for them, but I also have, I'm never really good with change, so I just have the general anxiety that comes with change. But I'm very excited to kind of move in with this next chapter in my life, which I think is really exciting. So there's gonna be a lot of life changes. This will be the last video that I'm filming in this room. For the most part, we're planning on finding a new house in the new year, house hunting and that. So I am only bringing the books on my TBR and one of my extra bookshelves upstairs, my smaller one from Target. So I will be kind of not fully moving in, because I'm it's silly for me to move all these things within in 4 to 5 months. We're thinking of buying a house closer to my job. So I'm not bothering moving a lot of this stuff. It's just basically the bare bones essentials plus the books on my TBR. That's basically it. So I will be vlogging this weekend with some of the moving stuff and insert a lot of reading, because I feel I've been in a bit of a reading slump this summer and I kind of want to get back into a better reading routine. So yeah, that's kind of just my life at the moment, but a lot of exciting things kind of going on at the moment. But yeah, you guys are here for the books, so let's just dive right into those. So I think part of the reason why I haven't read a lot specifically this month in July is that I haven't been reading books that excite me, and these two were just meh. They were fine, but they weren't, I wasn't excited about reading them, and I had to read them for a book club with my friend. I wanted to get them out of the way, so I kind of went ahead and read them. But yeah, I was just not really, I didn't think they were necessary. And I read the Nikolai duology and the Grishaverse, the first one being King of Scars and then Rule of Wolves. I did read King of Scars a long time ago when it came out, but I hadn't read Crooked Kingdom, and I didn't remember enough of the original Grisha trilogy to remember anything. So it was reading it for the first time. But I don't think this is fair to call a Nikolai duology. I feel it more focuses on Zoya, and this takes place after the events of the original Grisha trilogy and then Crooked Kingdom. And it follows Nikolai, who's kind of navigating being the new king of Ravka, and some of the kind of troubles that have kind of popped up, both political and also kind of magical, that have kind of caused problems. And again, he's also kind of dealing with some inner demons as well, and it kind of goes off from there. I think my biggest thing is I did really enjoy the last like half of Rule of Wolves, but I didn't really enjoy King of Scars, and Rule of Wolves was just okay. So I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars and a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't feel like these were very necessary. I felt like it was just a way to kind of get more fanfare and merge the two different like series within this world. And you can tell like the way this one ended, it like clearly was setting up a new book in, I think, the Six of Crows world. So I didn't feel like these were really necessary. I didn't feel like these changes that were made were really, like, I feel like the way the series ended, I think, was fine. Like, I think that's, like, it was okay, it was fine. These books are very heavy to hold, but yeah, I just didn't feel like they were very necessary. I didn't like I said, I love Nikolai, but this wasn't really focused on him. There was so many different point of views. You get Nina's, Zoya's, Nikolai, some other characters mixed in, that I felt like it was tackling so many different storylines that you didn't really get to spend a lot of time with them. So it was a little bit disappointing. I'm happy I just kind of like finished these because they've been on my shelf for a while, and I kind of just finished with that book club like series thing, so I'll be good for the next couple months for the book club. But yeah, I don't think it was very necessary. I think Crooked Kingdom is like my favorite book out of the Grishaverse, but I don't think these books have never in my eyes been like amazing or blown me away. I just think they're like middle of the road okay, and I feel the same about these ones too. Especially in Rule of Wolves, I really think she did a good job at weaving in the storylines because they kind of eventually all come together. I did think that was really well done, but it is basically 1,000 pages worth of books, and it does take a while to kind of get to that. So I'm very interested to see how the like next book will be set up, because I do think it's interesting. I do disagree with like a lot of the stuff that was kind of in this one, so I'm very curious to see what the next book has in store. I think she just needs to focus on like the 9th House series now at this point. Like, I feel like, you know what, the Grishaverse is good, it's set, it had a TV show, like it's done well. Like, I don't think there needs to be any expanding done, because I think it's completely rewriting the lessons of the like the first trilogy. So yeah, these one, it improved, but it was just not my favorite of the Grishaverse. Next up, I'm going to talk about the books that I plan on reading in August. Like I said, I kind of want to get back into a reading routine, and so these are books that I'm really excited about. The first two I'm just not going to talk about because I've already talked about them for the past like 3 or 4 TBRs this summer, and I don't want to keep repeating myself. But I am currently reading one of them that I hope to finish this weekend in my reading vlog. So there's that at least. But the 2 books I'm talking about are Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert, which is kind of a romance, friends to enemies to lovers type of thing. And then also The Lost Girls of Willowbrook by Ellen Marie Wiseman, which is about a girl who ends up getting confused as her twin when she visits her at the mental institution. It kind of goes off from there. But these books, like I said, I've talked about many times on my channel for books that I want to read. I think I even talked about books I was going to read in Japan, just never got around to reading. So yeah, that's kind of like, I've talked about these more than enough, but these are top priority number 1, and I'm already currently reading this one. This book is like fairly short, so I don't think it should be anything too crazy. So yeah, this is my plan. If I can finish these 2, I'll be very happy. So I do, because I have a lot of like big changes kind of going on with like lifestyle. I think part of August will be just kind of figuring out my reading routine in this like post-academia job, and also kind of in a different living situation. So I think part of this will be kind of trial and error. So I wanted to throw in an easy book just to kind of tip off, like kind of kick off the reading. And I think I've read this short story. I don't know if it's just like has like cute little illustrations and is finally published in like a physical form. I'm not sure because this book has become popular on BookTube, or like the series. And so this is Morrighan by Mary E. Pearson. This is, originally I read this as like a ebook novella documenting kind of the kind of origins of the like his Remnant Chronicles world, and like how it, like what created it into what it is today. And like Morrighan was like one of the first of the, not like queens, but like one of the first like legends within this family, or like within this country, that like really plays a prominent role in this trilogy. So yeah, I don't know if it's just an extension of it or what, because now they've added in like these cute little decorations. I don't really know, but it is interesting to me how this book is now, like this series I should say, is very popular now on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but I was reading like the excerpt or like something from like the note from the author, and it basically was talking about how this was possible because of like its resurgence on TikTok, which I do find very interesting, because this was like the series that were very popular like 10 plus years ago are like the ones that are very popular now. So like this like weird like decade long like peaks, very interesting to me. But yeah, this is like I don't know if this is any different than what I read on the novella. We shall see if I will even remember that novella, because I read it like 10 years ago. So yeah, I thought this would be like a small little short book I could fit into my TBR this month. I feel like I haven't read any like crime novels recently, so this is one that it has caught my eye that I haven't read yet, and it is What She Found by Robert Tagoni. This is the newest installment in the Tracy Crosswhite series, which I'm very excited about. I haven't read one of her books, or like one of the Tracy Crosswhite books, in a while, and I do find like if I'm in a bit of a reading slump, it's always like these crime series that I'm like well established in that always kind of help get me back into reading. So this is what it kind of, the plan was behind this one. So it says, Detective Tracy Crosswhite has agreed to look into the disappearance of investigative reporter Lisa Childress, solving the cold case in his obsession for Lisa's daughter Anita. So is clearing the name of her father, a prime suspect who became a pariah. After 25 years, all Anita wants is the truth, no matter where it leads. For Tracy, this means reopening the potentially explosive investigations Lisa was following on the dark night she vanished, an expose of likely a mayoral graft, the shocking rumors of a reserve city councilman's criminal sex life, a drug task force scandal composing the Seattle PD, and an elusive serial killer who disappeared just as mysteriously as Lisa. I do think this is very interesting. From what I remember, Tracy has now moved into kind of like the cold case sector of like the Seattle PD, which I think is interesting. I think cold cases, especially, there are a few series that have like primarily focus on cold cases. I think that is a very interesting like kind of spin on a traditional crime series, and I do love that kind of cold case aspect as well. So I think this will kind of help me kind of get more into reading. So like I said, that is the plan behind selecting this book. And lastly, this is just a YA fantasy that I've been meaning to read, and I always feel like YA fantasy is either hit or miss. I don't tend to read a lot of YA in general, but I did really enjoy like the Cruel Prince trilogy and like all those other books, which is YA. So I was like, maybe this one will kind of, and I was obsessed. I read those when I was doing my dissertation. They helped power me through and give me, you know, some enjoyment and things outside of like all the stress that I was having. So I was like, let me see, I don't know. This one is a standalone, so it does sound very interesting, and it is A Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is one that I've either heard good things about or people are just about, so like I said, it can either be hit or miss at this point. But it says, all sorcerers are evil. Elizabeth has known this for as long as she has known anything. Raised as a foundling in one of Ostermere's great libraries, Elizabeth has grown up among magical grimoires that rattle beneath iron chains, capable of transforming into grotesque monsters. When an act of sabotage releases the library's most dangerous grimoire, Elizabeth is accused of treason. With no one to turn to but her sworn enemy, the sorcerer Nathaniel Thorn, and his mysterious servant, she finds herself entangled in a centuries-old conspiracy. Not only could the great libraries go up in flames, but the world along with them. So I just think this one, I don't know, let's like just throw this in here, help kind of get us back into kind of reading. I kind of wanted to include different genres, so I have like romance, kind of a historical fiction, fantasy, crime, like my main reading genres to kind of help get me back into reading. So, and kind of fall back in love with reading too. It should never be a chore, which is how it felt with the kind of Nikolai duology. So I'm hoping this kind of helps kindle the flame again. So yeah, we shall see. I don't know. As long as I don't have these two books again on my TBR, I will consider it a successful reading month. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, there'll be definitely a lot of different things coming to this channel. I do plan on uploading kind of once a week. I think that will be kind of something I can keep consistent every week, so you'll be kind of along for this crazy ride that August is going to be. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time in my different filming setup. So see you guys next time. Bye.